So, hi guys, we are Concircle. My name is Gera, and today we're here with Stefan Rauch, our CEO. Thanks for having us. And today we're gonna tell you more about our fascinating product, ConUBC Unified Blockchain Connector. As Stefan and Martin from Unibright have mentioned yesterday, ConUBC was recently SAP certified, which we're really proud of. And we are very happy to present it to you today with Stefan. Next slide. So we speak business and technology and, of course, blockchain. Concircle is a consulting company, IT consulting company for digitalization solutions, especially in the areas of supply chain management, enterprise operations, and manufacturing. So our motivation was to create a out-of-the-box solution to connect individual blockchain as a service process with SAP systems. ConUBC drives and enables the digitalization of processes and gives mobile access to critical or fast-moving processes. Yep. And now Stefan gonna tell you a little bit more about ConUBC architecture for SAP integration.
Oh, Gera, thanks a lot for the introduction. Hope that everything is fine there in EthAtlanta Tech Park, so you can see the slides and sharp and could hear us from Austria. So maybe this has to be mentioned. We're joining from Austria tonight and are very happy to join you there. Yeah, earlier we planned to be there, but yeah, now we do it via this video conferencing. So I'm proud to present the ConUBC architecture for SAP integration. As Stefan and Martin from Unibright and maybe also Kyle told you earlier, it is, let's say, built out of the concepts of the Unibright connector, which was introduced during the ICO of Unibright 3 years ago. And yeah, we started 1.5 years ago to build up this architecture to have an access to SAP business objects via a layer framework. And we split it up into several parts, dedicated parts to connect to the blockchain as a service layers, to the protocols and networks. So we faced 1 year ago together with Provide and Unibright and also all the others who run this stack already in productive environment, that it was not so very easy for them to access SAP business documents and SAP master data connected to the blockchain as a service layer. This was not only connected because of missing functionality of the SAP system, but there was missing some unification or unified approach to do it. All started with domain models where you have to check and to map and merge domain models from the dedicated domain model on the blockchain as a service layer. And very often it didn't fit to the business model in SAP. So what we did, we built up a layer to connect to the SAP system from a technical point of view. This is called the ConUBC REST integration layer, where all the blockchain as a service projects and products can connect to the SAP system. You can connect to an SAP system on an on-premise version or also on private cloud versions or via SAP or other tools, cloud PI tools. You can also connect to your multi-tenant systems. Yeah. This integration is then orchestrated via ConUBC Flow. The ConUBC Flow orchestrates all the data flow to the business objects. You may think of a data structure where the blockchain service is just sending different data, and you can decide within your UBC flow if this leads to one transactional data document, or maybe you have to create a master data object first place so that you can book or store, for example, your FI documents. Yeah, You will see this in the case of Blocksmove later on. Yeah. And then the mapping layer, the mapping of data and processes is very often done on a very low level integration layer, sometimes between the blockchain as a service and the SAP, but we decided to do this mapping and data and process mapping just before we integrate the data to the transactional or master data objects within SAP. So this makes it very easy for SAP customers to map the data which is received or sent to the SAP standard or custom business objects you have in your system. And the top layer of all of this is the ConUPC Act. We called it Act because there is some action or something is acting there. And out of the mapped data, which was orchestrated via the ConUPC flow, we just create the transactional data, or we read the transactional data, change the transactional data, or we do the same with the master data. Yeah. Here are some examples. And these are also the examples we want to present later on system, where we see that we interact with sales orders, with confirmations of sales orders, with FI documents, with purchase orders, with invoices. And on the other hand, on the master data section, we will see that we manage business partners, for example, like customers and vendors, material masters, or product specifications. Product specification is a special a special demo we brought in with S17. And all these layers you are visualized in the system via ConUPC IO. So we do have a cross layer monitoring which monitors each layer. So you receive a feedback of your REST integration. We do automatic health checks if the REST APIs are working, yes or no. We see all the steps of the UPC workflows, if they are processed correctly, successfully, or if something is pending, or even if it's on error and you have to do something manually, or you have to do or plan or auto reprocessing to store or read the data later on. Yeah. And on the top layer, there is also monitoring and a link to the SAP standard objects. You will see it later in the demo. So this ConUPC monitoring, this IO, is always the link to each layer. And this is also the cross-link to the data represented on the blockchain as a service layer. Okay, Gera?
Yeah, as I already have mentioned, ConUBC was recently certified, and I think you wanted to tell a little bit more, Stefan, here.
No, just one or two informations there. All the presented projects, they don't reflect what you see. Does not really reflect where they stand. So most of them or all of them are in a productive environment. We focus in our demos later on the integration to SAP and how it looks like out of the SAP UIs and out of the SAP standard documents. We also decided not to go for this discussion if we go for SAP Fiori, UF5, whatever. We just want to focus how it looks like and that is seamlessly integrated. And therefore, we had three different scenarios we want to present to you. Yeah.
Yes. So we're gonna show you now our videos and three different scenarios with this one: 7 company, Blocksmove, and Unibright with Base Ledger. So the first scenario, Stefan, S17 case.
Yeah, I will present S17. Maybe just for each scenario, just a small introduction, what they are doing, what is the main aim with the blockchain as a service. And then we have a look on the system, or we just have a look on the prepared video, how it looks like on, in the integration. Yeah. So S17 is a partner company sitting in Austria, in Vienna. by coincidence. And they focus on quality certificates. Quality certificates for steel industries. They started with steel industries, therefore they are called S17 Metal Identity, but it's even bigger. So key to many industry companies is their product data and sending the product data as certificates to their partners, to their customers, and maybe to their traders. And first step is to substitute the paper process, the paper-driven process and printouts of quality certificates. But right now they are, they already done the next step, and the next step is they provide these quality certificates as machine-readable data. So your partner is able to get this data, this product data, and can take this data to, for example, automate setup of machines or to adjust technical parameters during the production process, which 100% fits on this data sent via the notarized certificate. Yeah. For each project or for each company, we also added a link or hyperlink where you get the details and you can also investigate what they are doing there. Our first customer, we will be productive in 2 months, is ThyssenKrupp Rasselstein, which is a producer of packaging material out of So I hope this works now. I already prepared the videos. So S17, what you will see there is, I hope everybody can see my screen, Gera. It's fine.
Yeah.
What you will see, you will see SAP system on the left side. Okay. What we will do there, product certificates or material certificates are created more or less during several standard steps in SAP. Normally you do it when you pick your goods or you determine the batches you want to ship to your customer. And then you have this batch, and this batch holds the actual data, or your production system holds the actual data of this batch. Could be chemical analysis data, or could be mechanical data, what is printed on such a certificate. So what we will do in the SAP system, then on the left side, we will just create a delivery note, a shipment, and during the shipment, we will print or preview a certificate. And on the right side, you will see our monitoring. This is normally not this is normally under the hood, but I think it's a good overview what happens in the background. So we will create the shipment, and on the right top, we will see what happens with the data sent to the blockchain as a service S17 certificate creation. And on the bottom right, we will see what we received. Yeah. Okay. So I will start this demo now, and yeah, I will give you the details during the video. So as you can see, we are processing an outbound delivery in SAP. And this outbound delivery has just a link to specific goods and to specific batches, yeah, and actual data. And normally, when you ship your goods, you print out certificates, or you print out your delivery notes, your shipping notes. And there is a new section seen here, the S17 material label preview. So this PDF document was already rendered via the blockchain service. So you can have a preview. And if you print it out, you see on the right side that we send a workflow to notarize the data there, to create and render the machine readable data of the certificate. So this is now running, takes some seconds. to notarize, to store all the data, and to get back the hashes in your SAP system. And on the right bottom, you now see that we received a new message, this S17 certificate in. Yeah. And how does it look like within SAP? It's more or less standard. It's nearly the same as if you print out the certificate via standard output management. Here you see that the delivery node was created. I recorded it yesterday, was created and attached to this delivery node. And now you have your rendered PDF file, and you have your notarized data also in your SAP system stored. See it on the bottom right. And yeah, we will see just some data, I think chemical analysis data and also mechanical data of the product we created the certificate for. Okay. And this demo, why did we choose this demo to start for the start? Because I think it's a good example how it should look like. It should look like within SAP when you integrate your blockchain as a service processes. It should really look like you're just using SAP standard, and your data and your services just integrate there seamlessly. Yeah. Okay, so I will jump back to the presentation and hand over to Gera again for the Blocksmove case.
Yes. So our second scenario is the case with Blocksmove. So the challenge here was that a lot of collaborating enterprises suffer from inefficiencies trying to be in sync with transaction and ledger data. So the idea was to interconnect transaction, billing, and ledger to scale efficiently and enable increasing transaction volumes. So as an outcome, we have a plug and play solution that integrates effortless into existing enterprise grade ERP and financial systems to achieve 100% process automation thanks to cryptographic consensus algorithms and distributed ledger technology. And Stefan gonna show you the demo now too.
Just the technical information besides this process presentation, what Gera told you. They are running now on Corda. They are running Corda nodes, and during their investigation of ConUBC, they also check if the baseline protocol, base ledger itself, is the right way to move for the next release, maybe. Yeah. So again, a little small video. Of Blocksmove. Here we go. It's getting more complicated, or it looks like complicated, should be simple. So the scenario is we will simulate, or we will mock the Blocksmove integration here. Therefore, you see on the bottom left the postman. The postman will just simulate this. It was much easier for us, just as I told you earlier, we will focus on the integration to the SAP system. You may be interested in the whole process of Blocksmove, so please also visit their website. You will get all the details there. For this presentation, we just decided together with them that we will simulate the postings which are received in the system when a car rental process or a scooter rental process or any other mobility transaction is stored or booked in SAP. Okay, so on the top left, we will then see a simulation of a payable inbound, accounts payable inbound, and accounts receivable. So it's a pure FI document process. We will book them both. On the right side, you are already familiar with our Con.io, UPC Con.io, where you see the inbound messaging of the bookings from Postman, from the Blocksmove process. And on the right bottom, you see then our status out to this blockchain as a service process. Why is it so important to send it back? You have to understand that this is a asynchronous communication, which is very good for them because they can post hundreds and thousands of documents and they are queued in SAP, and via the UPC flow, they are booked in a sequence. So the sequence is very important. And the feedback is then sent after each step or each FI document. When it's posted, we send back an object connection ID, a hash from the blockchain layer, so that those bookings find together on their portal. So on the top left, I will trigger now accounts payable inbound. You see we have an authentication and then we have a posting. On the top right, you see that we started a workflow to post this FI document. The FI document was posted and immediately, but asynchronously, the data was sent back. And we also have some kind of mock server here in the Postman where we receive the request body of our UPC status out message. And there we send back the hashes of the blockchain of Blocksmove, and we send them also the FI document, which was just posted. And now on the top left, we will just enter to this FI document, to this accounts receivable posting. And here we see that this was booked correctly, that all the connections and all the links to this scenario was stored within SAP standard. And next one is, again, we book another FI document, a receivable document. It just looks the same. It's just a different FI document type. The workflow was started again. The FI document was booked in SAP. The UPC status out was given, and the request body of the status out, which is received on the blockchain asynchronously, also holds this document. This document numbering is slightly different because in FI documents within SAP do have a different number range normally. And here again, we see this account payable was stored. And the integration into the SAP standard, again, is done via a workflow management. We will see this later also in the Unibright case. Via this workflow overview, we see exactly all the timestamps, all the data received from the blockchain layer, and we see in the Con.io, UPC.io messaging again the data stream we received from the blockchain. So everything is synchronous now. The hashes from the hashes from the blockchain layer, and also the documents and the numbering created in the SAP system are now sent back to the blockchain as a service. Yeah. Okay. Next scenario. Gera, who's next? Me or you?
You.
Okay.
I like how you explain it so simple.
No, it's fine. Good friends of mine, Stefan and Martin, Unibright, base ledger. Therefore, I'm proud to present it, and I'll take it away from you, Gera. Okay. So, yeah, those guys are responsible that we started our blockchain journey 2 years ago. As I told you earlier, our ConUPC is, let's call it, successor of the former Unibright blockchain connector. And yeah, we took some of our already programmed things, adopted it to the concept of the Unibright connector, and now we have the ConUPC. And this ConUPC has also an out-of-the-box connector to base ledger, to baseline protocol. It's also in use with ProvideBright stack, for example, at Coca-Cola. And this scenario now with the base ledger, it just focuses, or the demo will now focus how you see what happens on the base ledger to the documents and the document flow. So we want to show you, or want to introduce you to the trust mesh. It was presented yesterday, I think, and now we will see how it works with ConUPC. In this case, we will not only have one SAP system, we will have two SAP systems, and we will have some kind of a simple, let's call it a simple process, where on the one system a purchase order is registered. This purchase order is then sent to the base ledger. Base ledger is doing all the trust mesh and all calculating all the Merkle trees, etc., to have this trust calculated and stored on the base ledger. And this original data is then also sent to the second system, which is more or less the vendor, and there we create a sales order. Standard EDI process in SAP. So everybody who is familiar with SAP EDI process, and if you connect two systems, will say, oh, there are no news. This is working since 20 years ago, 30 years ago. But the new thing is that also this is now integrated. The base ledger and the trust mesh information is integrated to SAP standard documents. And if you think of a scenario where you are breaking the chain, let's say it like that, where another system is sitting in between two SAP systems, or even if the chain is longer, then the trust mesh is a very good thing, because you have a cross system or cross process overview of the status of your documents. And also the participants of this process can decide how deep they are allowed to have a look on the details. And even if it's just a status overview, everybody in the chain and the connected system knows where the document flow stands. And when you think of some kind of versioning, we will also show a change of a purchase order then, or we will have a check to check the business terms. And if somebody says, okay, no, not fine with this, then we can do it again, and we'll see it on the trust mesh again. Okay. Okay. Last one. It should look simple, and I hope it looks simple, even if it's technically a little bit complex. But from an end user perspective and also from a business user perspective, it should be again a simple one. Even if we have a look under the hood and show you the technical details, I hope it's not too complex. So where all starts with a purchase order. So I created a template purchase order earlier, and I will just drag and drop it to my shopping cart, and then I have more or less a new purchase order. And what I do next is I just save the purchase order, and via saving the EDI communication, the base ledger integration is triggered, and you will see we will again jump from the purchase order to the UPC input output monitoring. From this monitoring, we will have a look to the trust mesh. On the receiving system, there is a workflow created, which is more or less, let's say, some kind of quality gate. This is for sure for demo purposes, but could be also a productive environment. If you want to do some business terms checks on your receiving system, it could be that if it's for example a very first interaction with your purchasing department and sales department, it makes sense to cross-check the business terms, and even if the quantities or the business terms fit, and then you can say, okay, everything is like we said it should be, or you can decline and say, okay, the business terms don't fit, just send it back, change your purchase order or change your business terms, and then send it back again. And in the trust mesh, you will see all the versioning and the related documents. Okay, as I said, we go for shopping. We register now purchase order in the one SAP system. And yeah, we have here a special payment term and we have special quantities. So we want to buy 9 pieces of an AC-DC converter for electrical car. So we have a look on the purchase order again. You already have seen everything is done via the workflow overview. We always triggering workflows and all the workflow steps, and those steps are registering everything what happens in our system and in the partner system. This is also a good fit to the latest SAP development of the BTP, where many things are coordinated and orchestrated via workflows. I now enter to the partner system via the workplace. There we see that I received a work item that I have to check a sales order there, if it's okay or not, to check the business terms. I go to the UPC monitor. I directly jump to the sales order which was created, and I see, oh, they sent me a purchase order for 9 pieces, but on the telephone we had a call. I only have 8 on stock, so therefore it's not fitting my business terms. And this cross-check, this workflow already set this sales order to be on hold. Yeah, we see that we have in the trust mesh now only one entity, which is a purchase order, because the sales order was not released. It was not rejected. We are just in the business check right now. So the first entity in the trust mesh was the original purchase order. It was yellow because the check was not done. So I now hit the button. The business terms don't match. Yeah. Now I took a little shortcut. Normally I go to the UPC inbound. I check what is the quantity needed there, and I reduce the quantity. And again, I send it back. I change the quantity to 7 pieces and send it back to the partner system. Okay. So again, on the receiving system, a workflow was triggered to check it again. It takes some seconds, minutes, or hours. And there it is, the new work item, to check the sales order data again. I want to investigate again how it looks like. I enter the sales order and see, oh, now he ordered 7 pieces. Okay, I have 8 on stock. That's fine. I can release the sales order. And now in the trust mesh, we see, okay, we have a purchase order version 1. It was already declined, so it's red. And the new one is yellow because it's waiting for the reply or waiting for the decision in the work item. So we hit the button, sales order is okay, everything's fine. In SAP standard, again, we see that on a purchase order, there is also a section where you do have your logistics confirmations or payment confirmations to purchase order. It's listed there. And if we go back now to the partner system of the vendor again, and we want to investigate everything again later on, because somebody asked what happened with this sales order, or what happened with this purchase document you released yesterday. Then you see in your monitoring again, you will find your documents, you will find the original data sent and received, and in the trust mesh, you will see the overview, so that the latest sales order or the active sales order is linked to the purchase order version 2. The purchase order version 1 with the 9 pieces is not valid anymore. Valid is the purchase order 2, and the sales order is linked to this. And again, everything is also calculated. These transactions and all this data is calculated and checked and validated if the hash is fit, if the calculation of the Merkle tree is fine, if all the status is okay. So if you think of a multi-tier process where your chain is even longer than just one purchase order, one sales order, it should be easy to have an overview which business document is linked or active to which version of the former or original document created at the vendor or customer side. So I hope this insight of the 3 very different integrations, but all are hosted via the UPC. The UPC. So yeah,
These are just
attention.
Yeah. These are just some of examples which we wanted to show because these are already implemented and in productive mode. So that's why we chose to show all of 3. Yeah.
Okay. So
thank you, guys.
It was our turn. Now it's your turn. And
thank you both so much.
I think we
really appreciate that.
Yeah. 2 minutes too long, but I hope this fits to the next speakers also. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Thank you, guys.
All the best to you at EthAtlanta and the Tech Park. Enjoy the show. Bye-bye.
Thank you both so much.